Alright. Okay. Stuff appears to be working. Notifications are out. Okay. Wow. Hello, I am here. It is Tuesday. Welcome everybody. Today the plan is to do art. We are going to do so many art. But yeah, welcome everybody. Hello. It is time. Man, it's been a long time since I've done an art on stream. Normally, I would do art on Picardo because, well, it's easier to not worry about the platform getting mad at what you're drawing. So today we're gonna have to be a little bit careful, but I have a list of things to go over from the Discord, a few things that people would like some help with. Yeah, a little bit. We're gonna try not to anger the Twitch gods, as it were, but we're also going to do art. We're gonna do so many art. Hello, welcome. I'm very excited, actually. How are you guys today, though? Let me go ahead and flip over to the thing, shall we? Okay, so, man, my chair is really low today for some reason. Hold on. Where's the lever? Hang on. Whoop. Okay. Okay. Just call it a hot tub stream. It's still weird. Oh, I just punched the mic stand. Sorry, this is a different setup than normal, so I'm a bit discombobulated. Anyway, yeah, it weirds me out that that's a category, but it's fine. Hey, thank you for the contribution to the art stream. So, the plan for the Wheels Choice thing, I'm going to start grabbing a whole bunch of suggestions for things, and it'll be in Discord. I might take a few suggestions on Twitch again. You did get my attention, it's very true. But yeah, we'll be putting them into the Wheel of Choice, spinning it, and then drawing the result. So, we're pretty close, I feel like. 75% complete. Heck yeah. And we'll keep going until we actually hit the points thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what we'll be working on later today, for sure. Okay, so first off though, let's do some art tutorials, shall we? So, I asked Discord, probably I should ask like a couple of days in advance if I plan to do one of these, but the things that I'm going over right now, my thought process when I am posing characters, recording this, yes, it'll be a VOD. So everything should be recorded, and eventually all of this will end up on YouTube. I am very, very slow about posting these on the YouTube, but I promise they will be there at some point. But yeah, so going over my thought process when I am doing character posing, we will be working on foreshortening and how to get a character to like twist, because people don't just have their hips and ribs all perfectly in line all the time, and then there's somebody requested some tied ropes. So we'll be going over these things, and then I shall be working on a personal project today. So, first thing that, okay, so let's start with the thought process, yeah? Some people don't have ribs. For those that do, we're gonna go with the assumption that everybody we're drawing does have ribs. That's gonna be the first assumption that we make, I suppose. All right, so my thought process when posing a character, the thing you really want to focus on, step one, is what they doing. Okay, so what do? Let's maybe switch to this. Here we go. I did notice. You're good. Okay, look, some people can just have a rib cage that's very narrow, and then they have like really big hips, okay? They still have them though, you know? What the dog doing? What the dog doing indeed. Hello, welcome. Okay, so for this example, you want to first think about what your character is doing. And so in this case, let's say this character is jumping, right? So with that, you want to, draw, generally, unless you're drawing like a close-up of a face, you want to start drawing the body first, just so that you aren't forced to try to draw an action pose with like your head in a weird place that doesn't quite work. So that would be my first thing. If you're trying to draw like an action pose or something, start with drawing the body, yeah? So, character's jumping, right? So we have the rib cage, we have the hips, maybe we have the legs kind of like this, right? So they look like they're jumping. Then they're gonna have their arms kind of up like this. And you can just do quick little, like stick figures, just to try to figure out, okay, does this action look like they're jumping? No? Okay, well then draw another one. Maybe we need to have them, like, maybe they're leaping over a tree and they're trying to flee from pursuit. So they have their hands down on the tree and they're vaulting over the tree, right? So, okay, again, you start with a stick figure, you make wiggly lines that don't make any sense, like anatomically, that one. Can't visualize poses in your head properly? Okay, so the thing that I would recommend doing with that is if you have trouble visualizing, do iterative drawings, like very, very simple drawings. Okay, so I have, my person here. I want to make them jumping. Well, if they like bend their knees, maybe arch their spine a little bit, that kind of looks like they're drawing, right? Or they're starting to draw. And then if they, jump up, maybe they throw their hands up and they kick their legs out, that kind of thing. Like, you can start very, very simple with this. And then if you're like, well, that doesn't quite look right, well, then you change it a little bit. No, honestly, stick figures are a great way to make, like, I do the stick figure plus where I kind of draw this bean shape for, like, ribs and hips. Like, this is generally how I start my drawings. I just draw a bean. Okay, so going back to the jumping. So you can start to think about perspective at this time. A lot of art is actually just problem solving. Stick figure plus, Kayla draws the pinnacle of stick figures. Okay, so with this, we're actually going to have a little bit of foreshortening as well. So maybe we can brush on that also. But you have your character jumping. I kind of feel like we could also have one leg like trailing behind. Like maybe they are doing a high kick, or they're jumping with one leg first, right? There's also, if you're jumping over like a hurdle, people have different poses for different types of jumps. Not to be confusing or anything, but there's like so many ways you can draw somebody just jumping, right? Nice. So yeah, that's what I think about when I think about drawing a pose. I think about the action. What I've actually found is that for me, it actually makes a lot more sense in my head if I am drawing from a scene. So I'm not just trying to draw a character like, you know, looking straight at the camera. They need to be doing something, right? Hello, welcome. And so I always try to think, what is the character doing? If they are glaring at their phone because they got a horrible text, that's like a vastly different pose than a character with a phone, right? You get a little bit more character with that, like just little things like that. And that's the kind of stuff that I really enjoy drawing. Okay, so once again, going back to the jumping thing, let's go with, let's see, did we have a good sketch in here somewhere? Let's go with this sketch. Yes, let's go with this sketch. Okay, copy, paste. Okay, so from here, we're just going to have that be in the background there. It'll guide us, as it were. So from here, you want to start figuring out what the anatomy is. So you have your hips here, right? So your spine is like this. You have the rib cage. There's your stomach right there. Ribs are actually, or the hips are more like this, actually. Shoulder. There, we could add a little bit of foreshortening on the arm right here, just so that it looks like it's going back in space. Okay, and if this is, so they're jumping. So let's assume that they are above the camera or the horizon line. Hello, welcome. So if we assume that, which we will be in this case, so we will know that so your one shoulder's here, the other shoulder's like here. So we know that this other arm is going to, well, the shoulder is going to be here, so the arm is going to start over here, right? And then we can have our neck like here. So our head is going to sit here-ish. We haven't figured it out quite yet. Your cat? What about your cat? Okay, so we're going to have one leg down like this. And one leg is going to be up like this. So a few things that I'm doing right now in my head. Walking over the keyboard. Okay, so a few things that are going on in my head that I don't. Hello, welcome. That I don't have to do because I have internalized the rules of art so much. Do you guys know about the proportions of people? So you have your head, and this is basically, we're gonna measure things from this. So here is your head. Eyes are basically in the center of the face. Nose is right there. Okay, so we have our basic person here. Now, if we take the size of said head, that's going to be one head in height, right? And if we copy this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. And let's just squish all those together. Okay. 5? Honestly, okay, so this is kind of a flexible rule. If you draw comics, your people are generally going to be 8 heads high. I normally go with around 7 for myself because I make the torso a little bit shorter. But if you want to do like a chibi, let me actually show you. So chibi would actually be like maybe 2 heads. So your torso is actually going to be like this, right? So this is your chibi. You have a ginormous head if it's a chibi, right? And then if you want to do, yeah, for young looking people, I don't really draw young people, but yeah, if you want to do like draw a kid or something, you would make them proportionally smaller, right? So I usually do about 7 heads in height, but again, it depends on your style. Like I said, comic book characters are generally 8 heads high. So let's see. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, maybe I did too many. That's fine. Okay. So for my style, generally, I will have the torso be about like this, or even a little bit longer if they're a taller or bigger character. But then we can, let's see. Okay, so here is our rib cage and hips, essentially. We're just portraying it with a very simple thing. You want to take this height from your torso, and you want to copy that down to here. And this is going to be your leg length, essentially. And then your little feet are down here. So then the question is, well, where do the knees go? Well, they go exactly in the middle, generally. And then you ask, well, where do the elbows go? They go here at the waistline. And then your hands are about at the pelvic floor, I think is the proper term for that. Or the wrist, I mean. That's about where that goes. So we have kind of some basic rules for the proportions that we can follow. And if we look back at our jumping person, let's make some comparisons, okay? So if we know that our waist is about here, right? And so from shoulder to waist, that's going to be the arm length. And if we swing this out, that's about where I have the arm, right? Oh yeah, okay, so the thing is, everything I'm telling you, rules, they're more like guidelines, and I'm definitely not like the end all for you have to do it this way. Like, this is how I do things, and if you guys do stuff differently, that is perfectly acceptable. There is no perfectly correct way to do art. My theory is that if you understand like the basic building blocks of people and like proportions and stuff like that, go crazy and stylize it however you want, right? You need to know the rules so you know how to break them in the way that you want to, if that makes sense. Exactly. Like some of the best art that I see, it's, well, okay, maybe not the best. What I personally like to see in art is something that has a lot of character and flow and like movement. And a lot of the times, like I'll see somebody who just has their hip like super out like this, and you know, people don't do that, right? That's super not how hips work and legs work and stuff like that. But it makes for an interesting art, and so it's very subjective. And again, if you know the basics, then you know, like you can stylize to your heart's content, essentially. But going back to generally figuring out proportions. So we know that this is the length of the arm, or the upper arm, essentially. So if we take this line and draw it here, that's basically, you know, it fits basically where it should, is what I'm saying. And I do this for the rest of the body without thinking about it because I have internalized these proportions, right? Guide with a good silhouette. Silhouettes are very helpful. I do not prefer them myself, but I know that they are super, super good, especially when designing characters and that kind of thing. Okay, so then the next question. How do we know how big to make the legs, right? Well, you look at this length right here, right? And then if you take this and you compare it to the torso, you will notice that the legs should end about chest level. If you curl it, if you tuck your knees up to your chest and measure where they end up, like compared to your chest, they will end up about here. Okay. So you'll notice on this that I actually drew the legs a bit too long. They should be about like this, right? Same thing with this lower leg. It's in the general ballpark, but it's not quite right. But again, very rough sketch. But now you know, okay, so I need to make this leg a little bit shorter. And that's kind of what you do when you're drawing. First, you figure out the pose. You have a very loose... Let me write this down, actually. Okay. So, first thing, what do? Jumping. Second thing, sketch pose. Does not have to be perfect. Third thing, troubleshoot. Okay, so I know that I do need to... Okay, let's lower the opacity on that. So I know I need to make this leg a little bit shorter so that it fits more with the body, right? I had to fight against that too, Midlight. I really did. It's definitely something you can work through, but you really have to be like, okay, it's not perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can just be, you know? Because the thing is, if everything has to be perfect every time that you draw, you're never gonna draw as much as you want to. I promise you that. It is something I struggled with so much. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know if you have a thing where if you draw on, like, graph paper, you don't take it quite as seriously. Is there a way that you can just draw stick figures? Maybe grab a piece of paper, grab a ballpoint pen, and just draw. That way, you literally can't make it perfect. You might be surprised with the stuff that you make. Hello, welcome. Okay, so we have shortened one of the legs, right? This other leg, I think we're gonna make this a little bit shorter also, just about right there. Okay, so let us take a look at our other arm here. This elbow, okay, I'm comparing the length of this arm where I just drew the proportions with the friendly pink color. This arm does need to be a little bit shorter, and that also means that this arm needs to be a bit shorter as well. Okay, I think, let's see, this is not our arm line. That is supposed to be here. There we go. Okay, so then the next question, how do you know how long the calves are? The shins, right? Well, you do the same thing. You look at your proportions. Here is your shin length, and you compare that to your upper leg, since we know that how long the upper leg is supposed to be, right? Well, there's a couple of different things you can do with that. If you are sitting on your, if you're like sitting on your feet, what is this called? Kneeling. That's the proper word. So your legs go out to here. Your shins are actually just a touch shorter than your thighs. So your feet actually sit underneath your gluteus maximus, as it were. So now we know that the shin is realistically slightly shorter than the thigh. We know how long the thigh is, right? So now you have a ballpark on where the shin length needs to be, right? I generally draw my shins a little bit longer just because I think it looks nice. But again, as long as you have a general idea of this is where it should be, but I want to choose to do it this way. Like, as long as you have that understanding, you're good. It doesn't meet your standards. Really? Wow. Okay. I'll have to work harder, I guess. You just sit there with a blank canvas? Okay. So something I did before I started drawing, I made some random scribbles on my canvas just so that it wasn't white. Something else you could do, if you guys are paralyzed by the white of the canvas, scribble on it, make random shapes, find a random picture online, like a background, and draw your characters in the background. You know, if you have a nice park setting, there's a bench in the background, draw your character teeny tiny in the background sitting on a bench. You fight the white canvas by making it not a white canvas, essentially. Yeah, I do like, normally, well, it depends on the day. Sometimes when I have, like, I'm really tired and it strains my eyes to stare at this white canvas, I'll just make it a gray. It's easier to draw like that. Well, see, that's the thing. No art is perfect, right? And each new drawing is building off of what you learned in the past, right? Oh, I totally make mistakes. Don't get me wrong. I am by no means perfect. Struggling to put down a single line. That is rough. So, one of the hardest things that I ever had to learn was that my line art did not have to be perfect. We'll go over that later. But yeah, that's one thing that bugged me for quite a long time. Look, I have cat-like tendencies. It's fine. Okay, so we know the length of the shin. We're going to go with this length right here. So now we know how to draw the other leg, or how long to make it. So our other leg, the ankle will be right about here. Perfect. Yes. See, you're learning. Okay, another weird thing about art. The most annoying thing I think about art is, so if you keep practicing, you think your skill should go in like a linear progression upward, right? But it doesn't. It actually goes more like this. And this is when you're skill up, right? Skill up. And then there seems to be this like plateau where you don't seem to be improving. And if anything, it seems like you're actually getting worse, right? And that is because your wisdom and your ability to see like art. You do 2 pages in your sketchbook? Oh, heck yeah! That's fabulous! Yeah! Also welcome! But yeah, so you've skilled up, and then it seems like you hit a plateau, or maybe your skill dips. And that is because you're more experienced, you're looking at art, you're practicing, you're seeing more mistakes, right? And it's so frustrating when this happens, because you're like, why can't I make anything good now? And it's because your skill hasn't caught up with your ability to see, right? Like you have a vision of, I want to make this. Why can't I do it like this? But if you keep practicing, you keep working at it, suddenly you'll have another one of those like crazy skill ups, right? Well, the thing with art is that nothing is inherently perfect, but your aesthetic sense makes it good anyway, right? Also, or is that Lambda box? Anyway, Lamb, thank you so much for the follow. But yeah, so this like skill up, feel like you're doing bad thing is perfectly normal for artists. It really is. You gotta keep practicing, you know? Well, if you do, then there you go. Imposter syndrome? Oof, I feel that. I'm so sorry. The thing about imposter syndrome is even though you know it is fake, it is false, it is your mind telling you lies, you still fall for it. Anyway, okay, going back to this. So, you have drawn an action pose, and you're like, well, how do I know where to draw the head now, right? Well, you know that the neck needs to go in the middle of your shoulders, like right in the middle there, right? Maybe a little bit, but it's also kind of an anxiety thing. Okay, imposter syndrome is definitely an anxiety thing because you're like, well, what if I can't measure up, etc., right? That's just your brain being a jerk to you. Anyway, so we need to know how big the head needs to be, right? Well, if we divide our torso in 2, because we have our proportions over here, we know that the head needs to be this big, right? For the style that we're going for. Anyway, so we know the head needs to be this big. And we divide the head in half, and that's where the eyes go. Then we can add the nose and the mouth. And then you can have the hair like going crazy behind there, right? It's a bit messy. Oh no. Okay, so when I say divide the torso in 2, I do not actually mean to cut anything. I mean to imagine invisible lines marking the proportions, okay? Let's be clear on that. Okay. you correct anatomy. Sometimes I say they need a surgery to realign their spines or something. There is no actual surgery involved, okay? Okay. Anyway, so that is my basics on going through a pose, yeah? How was that? Was that helpful? I mean, I guess you could. All right, let me throw all this in a folder and we will label this pose process. Because that was a lot of stuff. It's the waist and the belly. Okay, we will get to the gritty bits there here in a second. That's definitely the next thing we're working on. Hello, welcome. What tablet do I use? I am using the 27-inch Cintiq. I have the big boy because this was this is basically my full-time job. And then I do streaming for fun and pleasure, I guess. So mostly I do art professionally. I'm like a freelance artist. So I have the biggin. Me. Okay, I need to take a quick break, everybody. When I get back, we are going to go over the torso proportions, torsos and hips and ribs and all that stuff. Doing a twist. Not like that. Don't make it weird. This isn't Picardo, okay? Yeah, and like I said, guys, the stuff that I'm doing might not work for you. There's other ways to do art, and that is perfectly acceptable. Basically, the thing you need... Okay. For art, for studying, you need to find what works for you. Then you need to probably learn some, like, rules for perspective, anatomy, learning how to visualize things as basic shapes, that kind of stuff. Like, there's a lot. There's a lot from, like, for doing art. There's no one right way to do it, and everybody's journey through art is their own, and it's vastly different, and that's what makes it fascinating, honestly. Anyway, I'm gonna have a quick break, everybody, then we're going to jump into doing the twist. I'll be right back. Alrighty. I am back. Wow. Alright. It is also boiling lava hot, so I have removed my hoodie. Shocking, I know. Anyway, shall we continue? Everybody ready? Okay, the Twimst. Let's see. I'm trying to think. How do I want to break this down so that it makes sense? So there's a lot that goes into this. Let's see. Oh, thank you. Okay, so, okay. I think what we're gonna start with for the Twimst, let's discuss the... Are you feeling better? That's fabulous. Excellent. Okay, so first let's discuss the range of movement, shall we? Aw. Oh heck, you're very welcome. Okay, so let's break this down. So we have, all right. Okay, so people have a spine, right? We'll draw our little skelly helper here. So we have this, there's some shoulder blades, we have a rib cage, then this goes down to, let's say this character's female. So we're gonna have a very curvy spine, and the hips are going to be angled slightly back, right? Panic erased the right side of the drawing? Probably post it again. I can see if I can help you after the stream. Some people are considered spineless. True, but we will not be discussing them today. We will be discussing the persons that have spines today. Alright, so we have our rib cage from the skeleton, and we have some hips. So, things that I need to point out that I don't know if you're aware of. Your ribs and your hips are actually fairly close together. If you poke yourself in the side and you try to feel your hip bone, and then you feel an art stream, yes. Yeah, okay, so you poke your hips, and then you poke until you feel your ribs, right? They're actually like, I would say an inch, maybe around an inch, or what, 3 centimeters for those who use a proper measuring system that actually makes some manner of sense. So, is it 3? Hold on. Yeah. 3.5 centimeters, let's say. Okay, so there's actually a very, very small, let's visualize these as cubes, right? So there is actually a very small gap right here. Very small gap. So how do people twist then? That's the thing. And the answer to that is that even though there is a small gap, like this, the boxes themselves do something like this. So one side gets really small and the other side widens out when you like lean over, right? So your spine is quite flexible, obviously. So okay, so the next thing I want you to do, now that we understand that there's a very small gap here between the ribs and the hips, the next thing, you need to turn in your chair or stand up and twist. And how far do you actually twist? People don't actually twist that far, right? Yeah, this could be a robot, this could be whatever works for you in your mind. Picture the robotic skeleton, whatever works, right? So we have our person We're going to draw them from a side profile real quick. I'll give them some eyelashes. Okay. Maybe some nice hair. There we go. All right, so we're drawing them perfectly from the side. Normally, people don't really do perfect side. It's very hard to see somebody perfectly from this profile, but we'll go with that for now. All right, so if they do twist, they bend around the middle, right? Like right up above. Hello, welcome. They start twisting right above the hip line, right? And then there's this. Okay, so you're. Let's take a step back. Okay. Let's make sure that we have a friendly peak color to describe the rib shape and the hip shape. Yes? Okay, there's our little gap. So we have a bunch of stomach muscles and things right here at the front. We'll get into that in a bit, right? Okay, so if this is our character, how far can they twist? Well, let's actually copy this and I will show you. Okay. So if this is like a perfect side view, you will only get, let's call this like a quarter turn. I'm not sure if that's, like you won't, if you're looking at somebody, like if their hips, you're viewing them from the side, you won't ever see the front of the torso. It'll be like a 3/4 view of the torso, right? And yeah, again, spin around in your chair, twist, like feeling how things move in your own body will actually give you a good idea how things move in a drawing as well. And I don't know if you guys do this, but I do this all the time. If I'm like, how does this arm do this? And I like flail my arms around until I figure it out. What if they're double jointed? Well, that's kind of a hedge case, and that would be something. Well, they'd be very flexible for sure. See, that's okay. That's the other thing that's very interesting about drawing. Like, I can tell you all day that here's the basic rules for a face, but what if there's a character who has like an extremely long face and like a big nose, right? Well, then their proportions are all vastly different, right? Okay, what was this? What did you say? Hold on. Character you're drawing is similar to the main character in... I don't know what that is. Main character in what? But there's different body types, different proportions for bodies, all this stuff. So it's like... The sky is the limit. I know I've said this so much, but there's so much you can do with art. So I guess knowing what you want to make is probably a good thing too. Foreshortening is definitely tough. Well, I will definitely help you with that. Give me just a little bit for that. Okay, so where was I? Okay, so twisting. You only get a little bit of twisting, right? Like your hips and your rib cage will never like perfectly swivel, and yeah, so there's a limited amount that you can twist. And a lot of the issues with trying to draw like somebody like somebody from the back who's wearing pants. And then trying to draw, like, their torso, you get to see most of their back, but they don't actually twist around enough for you to see, like, any part of the front of them. Which, you know, and again, you can kind of bend this rule a little bit more. There's not like a, what people can do realistically and what you can get away with in art when you kind of nudge the rules a little bit, they're two vastly different things. So, I don't know, take all this with a grain of salt, I guess. No, they're definitely wearing clothing. I'm definitely not. Yep. Anyway, so they're wearing pants. They're wearing jeans. Jean shorts, actually. Okay, so then if people can only twist so much, and they twist from the small gap between the ribs and the hips, well then what happens with the stomach then, right? Oh man, it's so little temperatures. Holy heck, a bit jealous actually. Okay, so if we know that this is where people twist, then what happens with the stomach and what happens with the back muscles, right? Okay, let's hide all that for a moment. Okay, so if we draw someone, let's grab a different brush. Okay, so we have someone standing looking straight at us, right? We're gonna represent the hips with another pair of shorts. Lovely. Okay. And they are wearing a bikini because it is summer and it is boiling lava hot, right? Alright, so we have the, let's see, the rib cage will be about here, and then our hips are actually going to start about here, right? Ooh. I mean, you're right, I guess, but hopefully it doesn't get too hot though for you. I mean, okay, so they're basically standing, looking straight at us, not really doing a twist at all, right? So if we want them to twist to the side, then, so we need to make sure that we draw the hips as they are. We need to know where the spine is, because the ribs are going to twist a little bit kind of this way, and we can kind of compare like where the shoulders are supposed to be, that kind of thing. Actually, that is a good tip. If you need to know proportions for somebody twisting, you can always draw like a straight on view of the torso, just so that you have an idea where things are supposed to be, right? Okay, so the one thing I do want to point out is that the whole human body is kind of linked together like a chain. So if you rotate your torso, your hips might rotate a little bit as well. Your legs get involved, your shoulders and arms move, you know, all that stuff, right? So potentially keep that in mind. Something will affect other things, right? Okay, so we're gonna have our shoulder right here. She's not gonna have arms for now, but that's fine. So we have a kind of an indication of where the squish are going to be.
Fallen into my trap.
Is that we add greeps? Weed greeps? I have no idea. But thank you. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. That's not how you advertise that at all. It is only for people over 18. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, so we have a basic idea where everything needs to be, right? So our ribs, we know that they're going to be about here. And then we have the stomach, and then we have the hips right here. Okay, so hello, welcome. Okay, so let's go with the assumption that their hips didn't really move too much. So we're still going to have the same sort of lines here for this. Her belly button will move over a little bit because twisting. And so the line for the ribs, this line here that I drew for the ribs, that'll move over also. I mean, true, yeah. Hey, thank you. Also, welcome. I feel like this torso is it's a little bit weird. See, even I have trouble with this. It is a tough thing, but again, if you keep the basic building blocks sort of in mind, that should help. And we're not completely twisting this person all the way to like a side profile. This is like a 3/4 turn essentially. So what do I mean by a 3/4 turn? Okay, so you have a box, okay? So this will be like a straight on view. If you turn it like 3/4, it'll look like this, right? That's a turn. So you're basically seeing it slightly more on the side. A full, like, full rotation would bring it back to like this shape. So maybe that's not the best example, but anyway. But yeah, when I say like a 3/4 or it's not quite a full turn, I'm meaning something like this. So we're still going to see the other shoulder here. We're going to see the bikini that she is wearing right here. We'll see a little bit of the shoulder blade, a bit of the rib. And let's see the belly button. Yeah, that's in the right spot. So then we see, again, this line for the rib cage as well. What does 3/4 turn look like with a sphere? Okay, so you have, let's see, if you draw, okay, you're looking at it perfectly on one side, right? Well, if you turn it, let's draw like this. Okay, so this we'll call this, it's still like dead straight on, right? But for 3/4, it would be more like this for a sphere. Also, I just want to point out that I am horrible at drawing circles to this day. I avoid it if at all possible because they're just who likes perfect circles anyway, right? Nobody, that's who. Anyway, but when this line moves over, it forms, basically you want to think about it like a 3D shape. And if you draw a line perfectly like this, it starts to curve around the shape, right? Go draw me a perfect circle. Do it now. I mean, they're very pleasing in shape, but also they're a huge pain to get perfect. Like, I drew this one fine, and then I was having trouble with this one, right? You're drawing something else? Making excuses. I see how it is. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay, so if you want to... They are divas, it's true. It's back-breaking work. Anyway, back to the twimst. So then the other thing is, well, what if you don't want it to be perfectly accurate and you want to draw a character doing a twist, or maybe they're breakdancing or something like that? How big is the limit for drawing squish? I mean, that depends on your preference, doesn't it? How large can they be without getting more into the realm of cartoonish? That's different. However, proportions for squish, well, there's different things you can do for that. I've seen some artists that elongate the torso just so that there's more room for the squish to be attached to said torso, which is perfectly acceptable. Again, it's a stylization thing. But then I've also seen artists who keep torsos like a normal, realistic size, but then just have, you know, the huge tracts of land, and they draw it in a way where it still works because they make it more realistic. So it depends. But also then you can also go crazy with it if that is your inclination, right? Again, there's no wrong way to do art. Alright, so if we wanted to draw like an action pose, right? So something that comic book artists do sometimes, although they can do it way better than me. You draw like disc for shoulder, disc for hips, and then you kind of connect them a little bit, right? And you can just kind of super duper fudge the anatomy, right? And it can look kind of wonky, not gonna lie, but also you can get some crazy action poses with that, right? So, to sum up, doing the twimst. Is that kabuki? Maybe. I'm so bad at pronouncing names. Anyway, welcome. Thank you for the follow. So yeah, at the end of the day, what I would like you to take from this is that hips, ribs, they exist. Twimst between them. Everything kind of follows like a center line, and also the rules kind of are for guidelines. So go ham. I feel like that's not a very good advice. Basically, as long as it touches the rules a little bit and is kind of based off something, I think you'll be good. Like, if you're trying to draw something with like intense motion, you can do pretty much whatever, right? Like, there's I don't know, if we do some like gesture drawing type stuff, like you can still, I don't know, you can get away with a lot in art, honestly. If you're trying to make it perfectly realistic, that's a different story, but if you're not, then vaguely follow the rules and you'll be good. Which I think is bad. Well, it might be bad advice, but it might be good advice. I don't know. To sum up, the ribs and hips, make sure that they are there somewhere. And I will get back to you on the rest of it. But yeah, different styles do things differently. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. This is a tough one, even for me. But I think a good rule would be don't ever have, like, the booty and the squish, like, please do not, like, twist so much that your character's, like this, right? Please do not do this. That would be my only rule. I mean, this is not how people work. Please don't do that. But you can if you really want to, I guess. She's wearing clothes. It's fine. There are lots of clothes. Everybody is wearing clothes. Anyway, okay. Oh yeah? Okay, let me look it real quick. Hold on. Oh, you've got the motion lines too. Very nice, very nice. You probably have. The reason people do that is because you get all the good stuff in the same drawing, right? It doesn't quite work. It's actually a thing that bugs me quite a lot in art, but we're not going to get into that right now. Okay. Okay. After the stream, I'll draw over that a little bit, if that's all right with you. Okay. Cool. Okay. All right, cool. Whoa.
You've fallen into my trap.
Low heel, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome. Okay, so let me think real quick. I want to see, how would I do? Because there's a thing where people can also lay on like a flat surface, but then they can also like twist a little bit so they can be like looking up like this, right? So then we have to ask, how does that work, right? Maybe they've got one foot up like this. Maybe their arm is down like this. Okay, so then how does this work then? If we're talking about twisting, right? Because this looks like it should work, but then let's break down the actual anatomy a little bit, shall we? How I sleep? No, not quite like that. Imagine a nest of plushes, pillows, and my favorite shark plush, and then I'm it's somewhere in there. That's how I sleep. What you thinking about, Pose? Yeah. But yeah, on the subject of like ribs and hips and stuff. So weirdly, okay, okay, that's okay. So if you're drawing female type peoples, this is basically the outline. And what happens is your hips and your ribs, they, I don't know, basically do like a crease like this, and this side gets smaller, and then this side gets, like, the gap between them gets bigger. So basically your hips and ribs, like, start to get closer on one side and they move further apart on the other. There's a limit to this, but it's super duper something that you can play with in a drawing, right? The French curl bows? Yes, exactly. That's actually what I was thinking about. So yeah, basically if you think about ribs versus hips and like the, again, the, I guess it's kind of more of like a this type shape. Like you, let's see, what is it? South Park, where the Canadian people, like, their jaws unhinge or aren't really attached, and then you can just kind of move them like this. That's basically what you want to think about when you're drawing people like twisting or anything like that. You can go pretty crazy with some of these. I mean, that is a good thing, though. One, that means you're liking what you're doing, which is very important. Two, that means that you are learning. When you find the limit the character needs to go to the chiropractor? Yes, probably. Anyway, so to sum up the torso thing, hips, ribs, to be continued. I don't know if that was as helpful as the previous one, but yeah, we'll have to work on that for sure. All right, twimst, to be continued. And we'll throw all of those in a folder and we shall label it twimst. There we go. I feel like you shouldn't put words in my mouth. Anyway, alright, foreshortening. Final lesson of the day. Have I stretched your minds too much, guys? Are you prepared? Are you ready? Are you excited? Rousing silence. Your brain is currently taffy? Was that too much? Was that too much information that I tried to cram in there? That's what VODs are for? Fair. Okay. Okay. Alright, so basically what I want to show you guys... If I say no, will you be merciful? Anyway, all right, so foreshortening. Ah, understandable. All right. Well, hey, I'll catch you later, okay? All right, foreshortening, actually kind of okay, easy-wise, I mean. So you remember how we drew the circle, and we did this, and then we rotated said circle, and we basically drew this line to indicate shape? We're going to be doing that, but with limbs and things. So what do I mean by that? Well, I mean, let's draw an arm first off. So we have a shoulder, we have the muscles, I'm drawing a blank. Whatever these muscles are. Here's your upper arm. Then we have an elbow. Then we have a wrist, right? And we'll have our hand kind of out flat like this, just for now. Okay? So we are going to take this information and we are going to foreshorten the limb, essentially. So what is foreshortening? Foreshortening is the rotation of an object in space. And we are considering what we're looking at on the paper to be essentially what the camera sees. It's like a snapshot of a drawing, that kind of thing. So we'll be moving the tips of the fingers closer to the camera. So what we want to do first, before we start this, we know where the shoulder is, we know where the wrist is, we know where the elbow is. We're going to draw 2 lines right here in the middle of the arm, and probably at the joints like this, just so that we have a reference point, okay? So we're going to do the same, we're going to start this the same way. However, instead of drawing the arm exactly the same, we're going to start imagining this rotating in space toward us, okay? So what that's going to mean is not only is the arm going to get shorter, like this, but everything is also going to start moving in like this, okay? Basically, we're moving stuff in an arc, and if you think about this as like a circular shape, you can start drawing these circles like this, right? Then you have your hand here. So our elbow, which is drawn in a very peculiar place, is going to move inward like this. We still want to keep the same like thickness of the arm. So you want to measure how thick that is and mark that like this. So this is going to be how thick this point is. But since it's circular, it might change shape a little bit. But basically what we want to do is connect that to where we know the wrist is going to be, since that's moved in too. Same thing here. And again, you can measure the thickness of this first drawing for the upper arm, and you can see that it is about this thick. Okay, so what's changed here? Well, if these lines that were straight across the form, they've started to, since they're turning in space, again, we're imagining this as like a 3D object, so the guide line is going to get more curved. So that tells us that we need to show a little bit of that curve at the elbow, right? And at the shoulder here. You can also, if it helps, think about each of these limbs. Let me actually, hold on. I have another analogy that might help, actually. Okay, so we have, probably if I use the right tool, this would help. All right, we have the shoulder. Let's grab a new layer. We have the upper arm, we have the elbow. Then we're going to have the forearm. Then we shall have the hand. Okay, so basically what you're doing with all of this is you're trying to think of these as overlapping shapes. And what we're doing is basically moving them in more. We're basically condensing them. The shapes are overlapping, and then when you start doing foreshortening, they start to overlap more. And you can kind of see as I move these how the shapes condense down. And it can look a little bit weird in drawing sometimes, but basically that's what foreshortening does. And that's kind of what I'm trying to explain with my weird squigglies here. And I don't know if that makes sense, but that's essentially what you want to do. And using circles to kind of indicate where what the shape of the leg is, or the shape of the arm. Let me actually draw this again. Hold on. Okay, so we have this arm, and if we draw circles up the form, I watched a video that might explain this better. I'll have to find that. But if you have these circles, you basically, when you do foreshortening, is you are rotating the object. So your circles, instead of being fairly thin ellipses from the side, they might become far more circular for the shape. And drawing like a squiggly corkscrew shape like this will actually help you visualize if it's a 3D space and it's if it's a 3D object and it's rotating a little bit, it might end up more like this. I think I might have made that very confusing, and if so, I do apologize. I might have to rethink how to describe that. But I think the key things to take away from foreshortening is that you are overlapping shapes. So things... Yeah, overlapping shapes, and also the curve on the surface is going to change. I think those two things will help. And then the other thing that will actually help is if you are having trouble with the foreshortening, you can draw a limb like straight out like this, and then slowly start to draw it like moving in toward the camera. Just because you don't draw it doesn't mean its implied existence doesn't exist? What? Ha? Heh. So yeah, I guess if you have more questions about this, let me know in the Discord or on stream, I suppose. Yeah, this is definitely the twisting and the No, I'm okay. With streaming, I say stuff sometimes and then I don't remember what I say. So is this a response to something that I said? Or I might just be very confused. I don't know. Maybe I don't understand reading today. That might also be it. Anyway, I need to work on clarifying concepts for sure. I feel like a lot of this might be unclear. I think that's what's happening. Ah, okay. Yeah, your overlapping shapes, but that doesn't mean if you don't draw it, it's still there technically. Yeah. Okay, I think we need to call it an end to the trying to teach things for today. We'll get to the tying ropes another day, probably. Yeah, that was possibly a lot. All right, guys, class is out. It's time for recess. Are you ready? Tying ropes, yes. Not for any nefarious purpose. What do I mean? Nothing. I don't mean anything at all. Anyway, all right. I am now going to work on. You know what? I'm good with being a teacher. You do that. Not safe for work art stream win? You know, that's a good question. All right. It is now time to work on a personal project. I think I'm going to do another quick break. Just so that there is... I need to go get something else to drink. So yeah, I'm gonna take another quick break, everybody. Let me find the right button. There it is. Okay, I'll be right back, and then we're gonna work on a personal project, yeah? All right. Okay. I return. And also, I have my personal project to work on. Alright, so the first thing upon opening this, I actually have a few things I need to fix. Namely, this. What is this? What is this collar mask? Let's get you out of here, shall we? Wait. Alright, so I think the next thing we actually need to do, there's some shading I need to fix. We need to add more shading to... There's nothing lewd about this. Everything is perfectly safe for work. Thank you. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Anyway. Stream's doing a big freeze. Anybody else having issues? Look, I don't know how it is in mermaid culture, but like, you can't really hide your tail, right? It's covered! That is a thigh! How dare! How dare! I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Anyway. It's Twitch, not me? Ah, okay. No. It is thigh. It is perfectly safe for work, guys. And I will thank you to continue to agree with me on that. I mean, I've seen people drawing vastly different things. Way more risque on Twitch. So we should be good.
What's this?
Oh yeah? Noodle artsy? Oh my goodness! Thank you for the gift sub! You are fabulous, thank you! It's not! Oh my goodness! It is thigh! Guys, please don't get me banned from Twitch. For serious though. It's perfectly safe for work. I mean, technically lewd jokes are fine, but I did like I made this specifically, like, so it's within the guidelines. It's fine. But yeah, lewd jokes are fine, guys. But honestly, if I was less shy, I would probably make lewd jokes of my own far more frequently. That one, thank you. It depends on what they're doing. Most of the time, what they're doing is not safe for work. The characters themselves, they're perfectly safe for work, so that's fine. But yeah, it very, very much depends upon the context and, you know, all of that. this is just a pose, you know. I'm just chilling at home, watching some YouTubes, doing an art. There's definitely nothing lewd happening. What is this for? Okay, so what I want to do with this is actually, so for my, well, I just wanted to make it for one, but I also want to practice live 2D stuff. You know there's like live 2D pictures where the character's like moving about or like floating a little bit and they're like breathing and blinking and stuff. I basically want to do that and then use that as my stream starting screen. Yeah. So that's kind of the plan for this. But the first step is making the art, right? Yeah. So I have plans for this and uses for this. But that'll be like several steps down the road, right? Muse Dash? I don't think I've ever played that. I've heard about the game. I've heard it's fabulous and like a really fun rhythm game, but I'm not actually sure. But yeah, there's a lot of different games. Some mobile games have characters that kind of like, you know, move and breathe and stuff, like as an idle animation. And you can do that pretty easy in Live 2D, which is what I would be, you know, animating it in. That needs to be in shadow. There we go. Live 2D each tail on a layer? Yeah, pretty much. So basically what I'm gonna have to do once I get all of this kind of figured out, basically I'll have to be like, okay, this is gonna have to move, so that needs to be on its own layer. Let's maybe make this a little bit brighter. Okay, so this would need to be on its own layer. This tail would have to be on its own layer. This tail, this tail, this tail. Like the legs are gonna have to be separate. Like probably to the knee right there. The fluff is gonna move. The ears are probably gonna twitch. Probably gonna make the character blink. You know, so just stuff like that. So just everything kind of shifts and moves a little bit, right? That's the plan, such as it is. So normally when I do stuff in Live 2D, I try to draw everything on its own layer, but I've actually seen a couple of tutorials where people take an illustration that is like, you know, static illustration, everything is on one layer, and they basically cut it into parts, little pieces, and then they paint underneath it, and then they animate that, right? So that's probably what I'm gonna try doing. It may or may not work. I don't know yet, but I still wanted to make this for myself as a fun project. What? Well, considering she does not have I don't think it would work. Like she's very you know, two-dimensional, right? One thing I probably should do is figure out my background. I'm currently pulling colors from my Live 2D, or my rig, my model, and depending upon the background, which I kind of want it to be like a sci-fi. What is that? Nope. Okay, so I kind of want it to be like a sci-fi room. So we're gonna have our screens. We're gonna have our maybe some dinosaur figures on the floor. I'm not sure yet. Okay, I think we need to change the shading on this just a little bit. I mean, eggs are pretty delicious. Probably there would be eggs somewhere. And probably a puffer fish. Probably we could have some stuff like that from the stream on here. I think that would be ideal. It would be excellent. It's been a long time since I've listened to this playlist. Excellent music. Ah! It's the pufferfish! It returns! Yeah! Thank you, Shadow! Oh my goodness. Man, I really want to play some more Starbound. I played quite a lot of it over the weekend, didn't touch it on Monday, and now I'm just like, I really want to play more of that. And also Apex. I want to play more of that too. What? Why laughing? I don't understand. You know what I think we need to do? We need to color some lines. We have extremely thick lines. I play ranked a fair amount, but I also play... Well, I play anything, really. Duos is good. I like the new mode that they have, which is sniper rifles and shotguns. I'm guessing level 90 is like the maximum level. I should stream? You mean Starbound? But yeah, as for Apex, I played whatever, pretty much. I really like the sniper shotgun game mode. I don't know why, but it's just really fun. Should I stream it? I don't know. It's mostly me going around being like, oh, I don't know. I don't talk when I play it because I'm trying to figure out how to do things. Okay, so one thing we definitely need to do, I don't have any sort of like shading on the eyes. We definitely need color on that. It's a bit sort of flat at the moment. Maybe. It's the thing about this game, their Starbound, is that it's definitely a time sink, and if I can't actively be making commentary on everything, I don't know how good of a stream it would be. Plus, like, that I feel like it would be a very, very long series of streams to play that. It's not really a good stream game, maybe. Meh. You know, I should make a new layer that has the witch hat. Maybe I should swap them out, you know? Perhaps. You know what else we need? We need to have some white tips on our tails. It's also important. Okay. Almost midnight? Okay, well hey, thanks so much for hanging out for a bit. I'll catch you later. It working again? Fabulous. Welcome back. Alright, I think after I do this for a bit, I think we're going to color the lines. I think that'll really help to soften this up a little bit. It's very harsh currently with the super dark lines. Also, we're probably going to need to add a little bit of texture on the white right there, a little bit. Okay, we're gonna leave this one not white. How do I do that? This is the lasso fill tool. It is a fabulous, wonderful tool for Clip Studio. It's actually one of my favorites. And yeah, I highly recommend it if you would like to fill in color extraordinarily quickly. So my lasso fill, it's this, no, you can't see that. It's in with the gradient tools, I think. It is true. It is magical. What am I thinking? Yeah. The lasso is the rope I was talking about? Sure. Yes. Yes, it is.
Trap.
Maximum, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome. Alright, let's color some lines, shall we? Let's grab a nice dark purplish red. Maybe a little more saturated. There we go. We might need to go back and erase this on some of the blue. Okay, and I think the face and expression are all on a different layer. Okay, so we need to find this layer. Okay, there we go. Now we can color these lines. I think I might actually grab more of a saturated red. Hang on, let me save this. There we go. Okay, let's see if we can add just a little bit more color to this. Oh yeah, that softens it up quite a lot. Do I wear glasses IRL? Yes. Yes, I do. I'm assuming that's a Final Fantasy XIV thing, and I have no idea what that means. That could be vastly incorrect. Also, I feel like I say vastly a lot. It's just really fun to say, I suppose. Do you guys notice that about yourselves, ever? Like, you're like, hey, I'm repeating this one word a lot. I always say it in the same tone of voice, too. vastly. Well, it's not that I say it too much, it's just that it's kind of an odd word, isn't it? If you say something too many times, and then you start noticing that you say it, then it becomes weird whenever you do say it, right? All words do get odd when you say them too much. That's very true. I wanted to maybe add a little bit of color to these lines, but I don't want to do too much, or it will make them not as good, probably. Invest in a thesaurus? I was trying to think about a dinosaur-related pun to that. Okay, so what do I actually need to do to finish this? We need to actually do some different shading. I need to figure out my background, really. Because we might do... Let's figure out the background, I think. I think that'll very much change the way that the lighting works on this. Because when I originally thought of this, it was a lot darker, just because we have basically a dark room with like a computer screen on. Alright, so let us go with a computer screen here. Okay, what? Let's see. Okay, so we need... It's going to have, I think, a pillow right here that I'm leaning against. So let's keep that. Then that means we can have the room. Do we want this to be right up against a wall, I wonder? If we move it back a little bit, it gives us a touch more space for things. I think it's going to have a book right here. I think that's what this shape is. Could have like a monitor stand, like right here perhaps. Probably a book. maybe we could have like a little... Maybe instead of a wall, this could be like a table or something. And I could actually have this antique right here. However, that means that this perspective is super weird. Oh yeah, okay. So, we have walls going up like this, and I would need the screen to kind of follow that perspective a little bit, or we're gonna have to move the screen. Yeah, I think let's go ahead and move that for now. Maybe we could have it super unintuitive and unergonomically back here. Do I want to do that though? Because here in this sketch, it kind of looks like we have almost a window right here. Maybe we should have could have like a desk sort of here-ish, perhaps. Right, so pro tip, if you're drawing a scene with a background, make sure that you actually know what the background is before you start drawing your character, like in detail, right? Because then you're gonna, if not, you're gonna end up with this weird, well, how do I fit the background in here now? Sort of a thing, which is what I've done, which is a horrible idea. You'd back yourself into something of a corner, and then, even if you have a better idea for the background, you're kind of stuck unless you want to redo everything, right? Most unfortunate. Okay, so if we go back to the sketch, we imagine there is a pillow right there. Maybe we can just extend this off like this, and we just kind of won't have much of a corner. That'll be fine. Maybe I could actually draw the book under the hand. That might be good. You have a little dinosaur figure, like right here, maybe? What if I had maybe like a window bench or something right here? Ha? What? What? Why are we applauding? The dinosaur? I mean, we should applaud for the dinosaur, really. Save? You got it. Okay, it has been saved. Thank you, by the way. I don't know how long it's been since I've saved last. this is highlighted. It is! You found the button for it. Very nice. Was that sarcastic? That was not supposed to be sarcastic. Maybe a little sarcastic. Okay, so yeah, I really wanted a screen right here, but I think with the way that I am drawing the perspective, it really doesn't work very much. You're a very serious person? Okay, me too, for sure. All the time, I'm definitely serious. Okay, so I don't think I want a window here. Okay, we have discovered we do not want a window. So we're not going to. Windows are silly. Who wants to go outside anyway? At least I know somebody appreciates how serious I am. What if we just kind of put some screens here and just be like, meh, what's a perspective anyway? It's probably not going to be ideal. Should work though. I mean, especially if this is supposed to be like a dark sort of thing. Do you need to go sleep? Like, go take care of yourself. What are you doing? You finished it? Really? Oh. Fabulous, fabulous. Well done. It's very serious.
You've fallen into my trap.
Nut and Go, thank you so much for the follow. Love the name, by the way. Do I like this background? I think that I don't. I don't think I like it. I don't think I like it at all, actually. This background that I'm drawing, yeet. We're not doing it. So, we're actually going to make this perspective just a little bit different-y, because I don't like what I would have to do to make that work. So we're not doing that. Too silly. So if I draw this like this, we could draw my shark plush over here, covering up the corner, and we could just have some screens like this. Who needs to find perspective anyway? Welcome. Ooh, that sounds fabulous. Yeah. What did He-Man? Okay, I don't have anything against the He-Man show or the character or whatever, but the He-Man Hey Yeah like meme song, I can't stand it at all. And if you reference it, you type out the lyrics, you make me listen to a single bar, I will ban you because I hate it so much. It's just it's not a logical loathing or anything like that. I just don't like it. It is very true. The meme, yes. So with the meme, if you make me listen to the Four Non-Blondes version of it, same thing. I hate all of the versions of the song. No offense to the artists who, made the song, but there's just something about it that I can't stand. Anyway, but aside from that, we're, generally pretty chill and lax about things. So, yeah. Do be sure to be cool and all that stuff, and yeah, welcome. My goodness. Okay, please do not push the buttons on this one. Like, I'm normally a very patient person, but like, holy heck, please don't try to push buttons on this one. Did you someday teach us how to draw not safe for work? I probably could. That would be a Picardo thing, probably. Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind teaching. I will attempt to be better at it than I was today. I feel like today was a bit awkward. Picardo, yes. That is the place if you want to stream lewd art. Also games, but mostly art. Apart from this one thing we have zero tolerance for, yeah. Yeah. See, the thing is, I would have no problem just drawing whatever on Twitch, but they're very picky about what they allow on the platform. Yeah. Never heard of it? That's fair. There's a couple of, not safe for work streaming sites like that, but they're very niche. Stream it on Discord? Perhaps. I'm pretty sure that's not how you spell niche. I'm pretty sure it's like quiche. It's got like a CH in there somewhere. There we go. Oh my gosh, that spelling, wow. I think you win today, Rim. I really do. That spelling, holy heck. Actually, we could probably just have like a little half wall right here and not even worry about perspective too much. I mean, the thing is, I really want to imply depth, like within this illustration. So I'm wondering if I should just have like a ground level and then just draw like a room far in the distant background here. Like we could even have a desk like here and have a big monitor like this, you know? Just completely mix it up, you know? Very loud car just went by. Education. I did both the art for the model and I did the rigging myself. So, any and all, okay, with the exception of the hat, good friend Midlight made it for me, and then I rigged it onto my model. It's fabulous. I love this hat. But yeah, travel safe. Thank you. How long did it take? The thing itself, not super long, but it's been like several years of me trying to learn how to do all of the things. So, I don't know, maybe I'll call it a month, but it's probably more like 6 months. I've been working on it off and on for a long time. the art is the quickest part, yeah. Which is wild. At least to me. I think it's very strange that the art is the easiest part. But also I have been drawing a lot more than I've been rigging, so there's that.
You've fallen into my trap.
T-Nash400, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome. Miss the cursed model? I don't. I don't know if you guys saw the cursed thing. So I've been trying to practice with Live 2D more. I made another cursed thing today, in fact. I shared it in Discord, by the way. No? Where? I think it's in the creators thing. And then there's a big rant about Live 2D, so you have to scroll up a bit. Okay, I think I vaguely sort of like this more roomy sort of room, but it's still not what it should be. Probably we need to take this, maybe move it down a little bit. There we go.
You've fallen into
Reasonable
my trap.
facsimile, thank you so much for the follow. Yay, alright. Almost the end of the workday, excellent. You got this. You can make it through the workday, I believe. Okay, so I think I like this more. We can have our little screens like this. Maybe a little chair right here. It is, very much so. Way too hot. I had to take off my hoodie today and everything. Save? Oh, good call. It has been a while, hasn't it? Alright. Just because it's nice, I actually saved twice. Okay, so we have our room, we have our plush, we have a book to read, we have a vague sort of thing over here that I probably need to make into something more... Do I want it to be a poster? Do I want the room to extend off that way? Do I want this to be vague? Wow, that is way too hot, dang. You know, I'm thinking of like some sort of a story behind this, perhaps. Maybe I was searching for my Cintiq pen. No, that's silly. Hydrate? That's probably a good one too. Your planet needs you? Fair. Alright, well hey, thanks so much for hanging out. I'll catch you later. Bye. It doesn't quite have the like, cozy feeling. Okay, part of me, I really like this, but on the other hand, I also don't like this. Now it's too big. Now the room is too big. Why can't I make up my mind about these things, I wonder? Okay, so if we had... Maybe we just need like a texture on the wall, perhaps? Or I could just be floating in a void. I don't know. Hama, 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 hama. Oh, is that in response to something I said a while ago? I mean, I'm definitely picky when it comes to my art. Which is why I keep redoing this. Okay, so... do I like this bit? I think I do. You have a nice amount of plush things. We could just have like a shelf right here. Maybe I could still have my Cintiq like right here. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm rather fond of art. Okay, we could have some random figures or stuff right there. We could try to frame the character a little bit with like a maybe an inset bookshelf type thing right here. Actually, that might be exactly what we needed to do. We have a monitor, maybe some cables. Okay, so if that is indeed what we are doing, we could start... We could start adding just a little bit of color here, just to see what this would look like. Okay, we need a nice blue for our shark. And maybe a white. It's a little too purple, I think. A little bit. Not too bad. Normally, I am yawning constantly while I'm streaming. Today hasn't been too bad, actually. Okay, so now the question is, what if I made this purple? We could go with like a retro wave sort of look. So if we made the screen purple. Do I drink coffee? I don't. I like the smell of coffee, but actually drinking it is always really disappointing. Like it doesn't taste the way it smells. It's like a lie in your mouth. In theory, though, I do like coffee, but only the smell, really. Do you drink coffee? Ooh, okay, let's actually... Wait, is this my new lines? These are my new lines. Let's make those a little bit lighter. And let's grab this color, and let's see if we can... Let's give this a little bit more atmosphere, shall we? Maybe even brighten up the screens a little bit. Oh yes. Okay, so if we do that, let's actually, you know what? Let's hide our line color for now. We might come back to that later, but let's turn down the brightness right there. You do drink coffee, but not today? Only like the effect? You know, that's fair, yeah. Okay, catch you later, mermaid. Alright. You're welcome to use that. There you go. Wait, really? Huh. You don't like the smell. Interesting. Okay, so if we go with, I don't know, this is just too dark now, maybe? Alright, so the values on all this, I think we just have, I think our values are all just really dark now, which is kind of a problem. Let's see. Yeah, we don't really have much depth, and I think what we'd need to do, we'd need to either lighten the background quite a lot in order to make this work the way that I'm kind of picturing, or we would need to make our character, me in this case, super duper stand out, which I'm not really fond of. My thinking was we would have the... I guess we do need to really lighten up the background. That way we can have the... Okay, basically the effect that I want to go for is... Drum roll. And... do the glowy eye thing. So we might actually need to make a new layer. There we go. So basically the maximum amount of saturation, like the brightest spot, well, a fairly bright spot, especially compared to the other areas around the eyes. That way they stand out the most. So with that, we have these really, really white highlights, and we can actually darken those down quite a lot. Hold on. We actually grab... Let's see. There we go. Okay, that actually looks a lot better. And we need to make sure that the eyes are the most reflective, but also not straight white. There we go. You only drink coffee for the health benefits? Are there health benefits for coffee? I thought it was just the being awake thing. How long have I been streaming? It's been about 3 hours. Yeah, there you go. Antioxidants? Ah, okay. You know what? I think this definitely is closer to what I was thinking when I originally made these sketch, which is very good because that's when you're making an art, it's always good when you're like, ah, okay, here we go. This is what I was thinking, instead of it not being anything close and you have to figure out how to make it look good despite that. Okay, so we're going to have to figure out better colors, I think, for like this area. I think we need maybe more of a blue. Let's see. And I did have this lovely, like, frame on this as well. I'm probably gonna need to move that up a little bit. Just because it's quite being lost. Let me see. Let's just copy it for now. What does this look like when I paste it over here? Okay, let's just make it a little bit darker. There we go. Okay, so now that is just very, very, very purple. I'm not sure that's quite the right look for this. We need like a dark blue, I think, for this area. Okay, let's just go ahead. We'll add a little bit of that. Maybe a little bit on this side as well. And now, wow, people are being so loud outside. Okay, anyway, so if we check our values again. Okay, we have some okay, the most contrast is definitely right here, which is good because we do want the focus to be right there. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for sure. Just the mention of coffee makes me wonder, should I try to make myself some coffee? I could go to the store. Okay, one of the things I do know about coffee is that it has to be, like, the fresher it is, like, even with the beans, like, if you grind the beans yourself, it's fresher and it actually tastes better. I'm just thirsty by proxy? Probably. Probably. Ooh, hazelnut creamer is the best creamer, though. Yeah, I don't really drink Coca-Cola. I do drink a Dr. Pepper every now and again. I'm contemplating the art. I think the next step... I think the next step would be to actually refine everything in the background. Because we have basically a color comp right now, and our character is pretty solid. And then I think the next thing would be to go back through and fix the background so that we can finalize stuff. Probably. Humma. Alright, I feel like we made some progress on this today. It's actually starting to look like how I first pictured it, so that's good. And I guess as a random tip or art thing, the way that I do lighting sometimes is a bit weird. Like, I don't start out knowing exactly what my lighting is, but it's better when I do, if that makes sense. Anyway, okay. Okay. I think I will work on this more at a later time. Well, alright, I think we're gonna end the stream here for today. Wow. Alright, guys, so let's see. Tomorrow is Wednesday, I think. Let me check the thing. Hydrate? Okay, you got it. Alright, thank you. The picture is saved. We're good to go there. I keep bumping into things on my desk. Frog Day, yes. So, for Frog Day, we might play some more Elden Ring, actually. Yeah, we're probably gonna play more Elden Ring, if I'm honest. So yeah, hope to see you guys there for that. The outro, there's some links there. They will link you to my art, my Discord, my YouTube, all of those good things. And Yeah, we're gonna raid somebody when I end, so stick around, everybody. And I guess the last thing would be, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you guys learned something, and I learned some things, actually. I need to become more familiar with some of the material so that I can condense it down a little bit easier, probably. Yeah. But yeah, hope you guys have a fabulous rest of your day. I will see you guys tomorrow, hopefully. But yeah, bye.